The purpose of this presentation is to describe CJK Engineering's approach to the installation, maintenance, periodic testing and removal of the electrical works that must be installed to facilitate the construction of a building. The planning of the temporary electrics is crucial to making sure that when the various work disciplines are scheduled to arrive on site, that all their power requirements are in place and ready for use. We have the main distribution boards housed in corrugated steel containers as shown. These containers give a weatherproof, mechanically robust structure that is readily available and are not dependent on a building structure to be built, which will take time. On the very large-scale construction sites, power will be distributed at MV, i.e. 10 to 20 kilovolts, to local step-down transformers, which will subsequently supply these main distribution board containers as shown. The ideal location for these MDBCs are for them to be placed as near as they can to the permanent power switch rooms. The reason for this is that when the permanent power is switched on, that the permanent power can supply these MDBCs. This will allow the temporary electrics to remain locally in place to complete the construction phase while facilitating a phased withdrawal of the temporaries as the permanent power is switched on to areas in light. Power and life safety is transferred from temporaries to the permanent. Type 1 is a distribution pillar that supplies site accommodation, cabins, yard areas, etc. It is a weatherproof perspex cover distribution board mounted on a unistrut frame on a concrete plinth which will be away from the cabins it is supplying. This can be constructed finished, powered up and waiting for site accommodation to arrive. This type of distribution pillar allows each cabin or unit to be powered up individually and removed through its RCBO supply without affecting other units. Type 2 is a distribution pillar that is usually reserved for a large office or canteen complex as shown. It is a pan assembly construction used where there is a large complex electrical installation. Again, breakers can be added without the need to switch off the supply to the board. Type 3 is distribution pillar that is used to supply all lighting, power and life safety requirements in different parts of the job site. The pillar is mounted on a freestanding unistrut frame, which means it can be placed anywhere and it supports itself. It is a weatherproof unit, which means it can be placed outside the building being built if required. It can be powered up by a generator to give immediate power distribution to a greenfield site on day one. All local site lighting, emergency lighting, 110, 230 and 400 volt requirements for a given area are cabled back to this pillar. All job site pillars are locked and tagged when they are switched on. There are several methods to light an area which will depend on the size and height of the area together with the lighting levels that are required. Large external areas such as car parks and areas external to site accommodations, well as high internal areas, should be floodlit with discharge lighting. All of this flood lighting will be prepared as much as possible under the modular off-site preparation. This means that all brackets, final connections, plug tops and sockets etc. When installing all cables, the following will be kept in mind. Cables get installed so that they can be removed with ease. Cables to be installed in the ground are housed within woven pipes so that they can be removed. And cables within the building to be grouped and installed on cable ladder and tray at a level that they do not clash with the permanent services and they have easy access for removal, which will allow fireproofing to be carried out easily. When planning the temporary installation, besides the electrical loading that will be done, cognizance will be taken of the architectural wall and ceiling layouts together with M&E coordinated services drawings. This will ensure the minimum amount of movement of the temporaries during construction or clashing for all and avoid unnecessary costs. The temporary electric installation requires periodic testing in the same way that any permanent installation does. A logbook will be kept and signed for, the periodic testing of the electrics, etc., earthing, RCBO, emergency lighting, fire, alarm, etc. All testing records will be forwarded to the client on completion and will also be retained by CJK Engineering. On the larger construction sites, we offer the facility of siting a fully fitted out test facility, where all trades can bring their portable appliances for their periodic testing that is required under the present regulations. This facility will test, label, repair and issue or record a printed report with all appliances that are tested. It is our intention to offer a buyback situation for all temporary electrics that are removed from site. This arrangement will allow the client at the end of the project, who has no further use for the temporary installation of equipment and cabling, to recover some of the costs. It allows CJK Engineering to obtain very good, well-maintained equipment and cabling at a reasonable percentage of its new cost.